rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kristen, you want to call the roll?
Brad Bassick,
Here.
Ed Repay, Joe Skavarik, Nicole Kelly,
Here.
Jen Wilson,
Here.
John Novosich,
Here.
Irene Morellis,
Here.
Carly Morris,
Here.
Robin Arbonitis, Christian Bartholomew.
Here. Okay, first up, approval of the minutes from the June 10th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 10th.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Okay, approval of donations. John, you want to tell us what we have today?
Yeah, these were candy donations for the Hocus Pocus event that's coming up, not this Friday, but the following Friday. And it's candy for our annual candy drop. C&O Glow donated $35 worth of candy. VFW donated $80 worth of candy. Anne-Marie Mikolajczyk donated $110 worth of candy, and Big Mike's donated $50 worth of candy.
Okay, so 105, 215, 265, does that sound right?
240, 275?
275? Oh, yeah, I missed 10. Yep, you're right. There we go. Okay, does anyone want to make a motion to approve the donations?
I'll make a motion to accept the $275 worth of candy donations.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. John, any correspondence?
None?
Okay, reports from staff?
We'll start with Carly.
Okay, so there is this piece of paper in front of you, the Civic Rec revenue. So I went through and did a report. Civic Rec is the software that we use for our registration. Going over the number of transactions that we've had so far this year, it's as of January 1st to July 2nd. The number of transactions and then the amount of revenue we brought in with that. So if you look at the ones that Kristen gave you versus the one that I gave you, some of the numbers are a little off. It's just because when you run reports on Civic, they kind of bunch them together. So deposits get bunched together. It's weird that way, the way the transactions work, but
Sure.
all of the revenue end-wise, it does add up.
Okay.
That's
Anyone
it.
have any questions on this report?
Yeah, Carly, I have a question on the ball field, the number of transactions, that's the actual team reserving maybe multiple dates?
Yes and no. Sometimes there are multiple of one team. It doesn't mean they're the same team. But yes, it's like number of fields.
So we've had more than 18 field rentals.
Yes.
Okay.
Parks activities, can you, is that stuff that we're hosting?
That is mostly programs.
Okay.
So all the
Wow.
different karate, etc., stuff like that.
Okay, sure. So everyone's signing up through that, the dances, stuff
Yep.
like that. Okay, cool. And that's number of transactions, I assume that's number of people signing up?
No, that's number of transactions. So there could be, this says
That could be like a family of
1,752.
3 kids is
Right.
one transaction?
Correct.
Got
yes.
it. Okay.
That's where the numbers are a little bit skewed.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay.
And the dog park, is that, there are 97 members of the dog park?
And see that again, it's a little confusing when it comes to that because that is each individual sign up. They could be signing up 3 dogs, but it's under one transaction.
Okay, but so like 97 families or?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate you printing this. This is a great breakdown, actually. This is really helpful. How long have we had this capability with Civic One?
We've had it all along. The reports used to be a lot more specified, but they get rid of reports here and there. So the one that has like the really, really good breakdown, they no longer have. So I kind of had to do it just by transaction
Okay.
rather than whole numbers.
Oh, this is really helpful. Do you have the ability to compare it all to?
To last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
I can
cool
do
to
that
see.
next time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're pretty close to last year, Brad. We were in the upper 190s for revenue.
Okay.
The big difference this year is, I think we're at 109 for expenses, which is less than last year as well. So
lot
our
less, yeah.
margin is larger this year than it was last year.
That's great.
So we're about up 90,000.
That's great.
Reverting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would love to see it next time. That's
Yeah,
cool
absolutely.
that we have this capability. Thank you so much. Okay, Irene, are we going down the line, or are we jumping to Kristen?
No, I'll go next.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
cool.
So I'm just going to go over events real quick.
Yeah.
I did give you guys a breakdown of the rest of the events for the year, just so
Yep,
you kind of
okay.
know where those are at, dates and times. We have about 17 events left for the year. So far, summer's been pretty decent. One thing I wanted to go over was fireworks, so if you guys had any questions on that, I can answer them for you. So we did not sell, we sold glow gear, but we only sold it at the tents, so we didn't have staff walking around this year. Just, it was kind of chaotic with, you know, the changes in roles and just, you know, kind of last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just kind of chose to do that so we can get rid of some older stuff that we had and not, I guess, spend as much this year. We spent about $400 on glow gear, where in the past we spent a couple thousand, so that's where you can see the difference.
Wait, I think I'm looking at. I'm sorry. Is that
You guys
this?
don't have, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
got it.
I'm just kind of going over
Okay.
the numbers.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So we were in the black on the ending balance for this. So we came in about 3,877. So I think that we had a pretty good year. I don't know if any of you attended the fireworks show. I got a lot of good reviews from what I talked to certain people.
It looked great from my house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I do not blame you.
It's a lot more
if you
comfortable
weren't
to sit
there.
in my driveway and watch than to actually go to the event. But
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have 3 kids that get really, really cranky
yeah.
at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I wanted to go to bed at 9, so.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, it looked fantastic.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so.
If you guys could maybe shoot them a little higher next year.
Oh, okay.
And then also tell us, like, I would actually like to know this, if we know how long it's going to be.
It's about, what did we say,
Like how,
35?
from the first firework to the,
Yeah.
to the,
About 25 minutes.
25 minutes?
25 minutes.
okay.
Give or take, yeah.
Right.
Is that the case every year?
Yeah, it's
or
pretty
take.
close. I think they went off exactly like 9:35 and usually
Correct, yeah.
finishes up about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just making sure everybody was out of the fireworks zone, and
Yeah.
then they kind of just get going
Sure.
after that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so I know there will be talks of next year doing something a little different, only because next year is 250th for the country. Is that what it is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Country.
Yeah, maybe we should
So
do it a little
if there's
bigger.
something you guys want to start thinking about or anything like that, just so you know, that's
I mean,
a big thing coming up.
Just a thought, but it might be fun to have like a big, I don't know how the manpower wise this would work, how much this would work, but I don't know, like a big party, like a big barbecue, and maybe see if we can get a bunch of food trucks in. I don't know if they'd be, how feasible that would be.
Oh, you're
there.
talking about like for staff? what do
We
you-
could do it for
wait.
staff too, but I just
For the
meant,
town.
Are you talking about like at fireworks?
yeah.
Oh,
Is that feasible? No?
if you want to, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Don't we have food trucks though already?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
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 We already
Do you
have a
have food
lot of food
trucks?
trucks there.
Yeah.
We have our own
Yeah.
food trucks, the town has?
Fireworks, yeah.
Us, is that what you mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what do you mean by we have food trucks? You mean they're already there?
there.
Yeah, they
already.
sign up for this
Okay,
event. I
okay.
believe we
Like
had
a lot.
32.
Okay. See, it's been a while since we've actually physically gone because we can see them from the house and we have young children. So we're
Okay.
a bit fireworks hermits. So forgive my ignorance, but I don't know.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe there was 32 food vendors, and then we did have
Oh, wow.
a full of crafters.
That's great. Okay.
I know there was total 45. Sushi Roll performed, so I don't know if you guys could hear them from over there. There
No.
was the beer garden in front of them, so.
Cool.
Everybody seemed to have a good time. I didn't see anything, like on PD's side, crazy happen. You know, I didn't get a full report from them.
Roaming gangs of teenagers picking fights in the crowds.
Right.
Yeah.
So fireworks is always definitely different than fest. You know, it's a one and done. It's a long day, but it's when it's over.
It's over.
Great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was a good show.
That's yeah, it was an awesome show for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the drone show? I know you guys kind of rolled that out a little bit, like tested it last year. Is that pretty expensive?
So that was also Mad Bomber, wasn't it? It was this.
Yeah, I think
Same
it's
guy?
a different name, but it's under, that company.
The same.
We,
one. Yeah.
yeah, it's expensive. I don't know if, Irene, if we got a quote on that, what it would cost. Last year was kind of a one-off, I guess you would say a comp.
Kristen said it was
So
about
it's hard to say,
20,000.
but from what I've hear, it is kind of expensive. But that would,
Just for the
I think if you did something like that, if it was in conjunction with the fireworks show.
Right.
I know
Yeah.
Highland
Right.
last year did just drone because their Sharp complex was under construction, so they didn't have fireworks. And it was, kind of a mixed review. But that's something that could be looked into. And usually those shows aren't going to last very long anyways because of the
Right.
batteries on the drones
Yeah.
are limited. So maybe it's 10 minutes of that and,
And they're-
combination.
Right, and they're more heavily weather dependent than fireworks are, just because they're looking at the wind and
Yeah,
all
sure.
kinds of
That makes
things.
sense. Yeah.
Right. So Kristen noted that it was about 20 grand for the drones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And how much are fireworks again?
It
Fireworks.
was 30.
What's that?
How much are fireworks?
Fireworks,
for
30.
the-
It's 32.
Yeah,
Yeah,
30.
I just
Yeah.
want to say it was 32.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not, it's an awesome
They have to
show, don't get me
program
wrong.
all
Yeah.
the, it's a lot,
yeah. Okay,
but it is neat to see that.
yeah.
Yeah. So, no, and I'll just note that Hocus Pocus is our next event coming up, July 18th. We will have a helicopter candy drop. We're still looking for donations for candy. And then July 26th is our crafts at the Crossroads, so. yeah,
How's it going filling Josh's role?
Me and Kim are basically taking it on, so.
And how's it going?
I mean, me and John had talks about this. It was something that we were more looking to 100% fill, but towards the end of the summer.
Okay.
Just to kind of see. It was short notice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't something, we haven't fully discussed it or, like the way that we're going to go. So I've been picking up the slack and Kim has been a big help too. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
They're doing a real great job,
Yeah. I mean,
Irene and Kim.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have hiccups in the beginning, just like anybody else would walking in, but I think, like, they've done pretty well, so I haven't had anything major happen. So, we're all still here and kicking. So, yeah.
so you do think you'll try to fill the role then at the end of the summer? Is that still the plan, or do you guys feel like we can continue down this path? Like, what's your view on this?
Well, I know eventually we will have to. I mean, it
Okay.
is a need.
Yep.
Whether it's internal or someone outside, I'm not 100% on that yet. I think me and John need to sit down and then, we have to look at the budget and everything else, what's coming forward for next year. Because July is around the time when we start talking about next year's budget.
Right.
So,
We actually have a meeting scheduled later, end of the month or the last week,
yeah, it's like the last
with
Thursday.
Jim, Andy, and Mike Troxel, go over
Right.
next year's budget
Okay,
and some
cool.
capital improvements. So,
Right.
we'll look at that.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. Any other questions?
No? Anyone else? No?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Irene.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Kristen?
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so we have the community center rentals. Like Carly said, her report is transaction based. So the number of rentals doesn't exactly match the number that she has on her report. So far we've had 64 rentals, room rentals. We're down 3 from last year, so I mean, I think that's pretty good. And then we are down $800.
Okay.
But we have 25 booked for coming months.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there is the picnic shelter rentals. We're up $610. We've had 80 total so far. And we have some coming up as well for those. So,
It's great.
any questions?
Nope.
Cool.
No.
All good.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yep.
Are we going to go over this 2025 mid-year capital projects report, John?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give a quick update on
Yeah, sounds great.
what we've done so far this year in that regard. Starting with the community center, we've had a new sound system upgrade with processor, amplifier, server controls, wireless mics. So that's all up and running. The IT department's getting quotes for replacing the security camera system. Some of the cameras have went out, some are not functioning, they're blurry. And then when you get into the DVR and trying to find those cameras from 13 years ago, and match up, it's just better to get, new
new
ones. And we
system.
want to add a couple more with some better capability outside. Also, we're looking, we are going to replace the water heater, which is a little more in-depth than the one you say at your house, because it's a forced system.
Okay.
And that's been ordered, waiting on delivery for that. Playground improvements, as you know, Foxwood North and South, we've had new equipment and surfacing installed. So that's all been completed.
Yep.
Novacello
Looks great.
Park, we've gotten the equipment delivered. That's going to be part of a CDBG project.
Okay.
Actually, I submitted to the county for reimbursement for some carryover funds that we had that we should be getting sometime this month to town, and then the rest of the equipment that when that money is available will be used towards that. So we'll have to look at getting the install put in and some other improvements. Reeder Park, there was a new sidewalk connection added from the drive on the south side of the comfort station to the comfort station. There was an area there that was always kind of wet. Public Works did some drainage, underground drainage from the gutters and tied it into the sewer system, and then we had that walk poured. Tennis courts, that's been kind of started recently. Plum Creek Park's been done, cracks have been repaired, repainted, restriped. Foxwood South is actually should be finished today. They were out there striping the lines this afternoon. Foxwood North and Stevens Park are going to start this week. That's going to be a little bit longer process because some of the cracks are going to have to be cut, and then they're going to repave inside some of these cracks because just structurally it's going to be a little more in-depth at those two sites. So those should be closed probably for at least a month for that asphalt to cure and then for them to do what else they got to do. But that's scheduled to start this week. And then the trails, we've had, both the Erie and Pensy Trail, where the Erie, our section is from Burr Street to Route 30. Our section actually stops north of the tunnel under Route 30. Sometimes that's a common call from people. And I try to forward them to Maryville and say, there's some issues with your tunnel. Last time I talked to Public Works, who shifted me to Parks, who were shifting me back to Public Works, and I felt like a ping pong ball. And, but that's our little section, and we got that crack filled and seal coated and striped. And then the section, what we like to say, the phase one of Pensy, the original Pensy from the skate park, Wilhelm Street, to Rorman Park, that section was crack-filled and seal-coated and striped. The looped trails at Plum Creek, Rorman, Sherwood, and Stevens Park, those half-mile to mile trails within the park, all those were crack-filled and seal-coated. And then Rolling Hills Park is going to be a little more in-depth project that Public Works is going to assist us with. We're going to add some new sections across the front, but then they're going to actually take out the existing pavement and put more stone base, widen it, and get new surface out there. And we also ordered a drinking fountain with a jug filler.
Great.
That's going to be positioned not kind of in between the pavilion and the existing Erie Trail, and we'll get some signage so if people coming off, it won't be too far for them if they want to get some water, because really that trail does not have any drinking fountains or way for anyone to get water. And we looked into it years ago over by Burr Street by the shelter, but there's just too many pipelines and it'd be too long of a run to tap into the existing line. So this seems to make sense. So when that work's getting done, that fountain's going to get set. Public Works is going to assist with running a water line out there, and then the pavement's going to be kind of scheduled in conjunction when Burr Street's out there getting paved, because the contractor Milestone's going to do the same work. So that should start around mid-August and hopefully be done beginning of September.
What the water fountains that have the jug fillers, are those substantially more expensive than just a normal like a water fountain like the one that's at Autumn Creek?
Substantially, I would say maybe an extra third of the cost.
Okay. Give me a rough estimate, if you don't mind.
Well, you know, we get the most dependable fountains. That's the brand we've been using for years, so we have the same fountain because it has all the same parts. And we've had pretty good luck with those. So a regular fountain, and there would be two different type of bowls. One that would be, you know, more for ADA accessibility, and then
Right.
maybe a taller one, like we have at Autumn Creek, for
Yep,
example.
yep.
That might be around $3,000, you know,
So an extra
upward
grand
2,000.
for a jug filler.
Well, that would, you get into more, you add like another 1,000
Yeah.
or so. You know, for example, like the one at the splash pad had the jug filler and
Yes,
the two arms.
yes,
And then the
right.
bike, the trailhead had something similar, but also had the mechanism that we wound up just getting a different bike pump, but they're going to add to the cost.
Yeah. My primary reason for asking is just as a thought, as our water fountains, like whenever they need to be replaced. To me, so many people have their own water bottle now. They're not really drinking. I hardly ever see someone actually drink out of a water fountain anymore. A lot of people get grossed out by it. It doesn't bother me, but you know, my wife would not let my kids drink out of a water fountain at all. And I totally understand why. It might not be a bad idea as we replace water fountains to just upgrade them to the jug, because to be honest, I cannot picture a time when I've seen somebody just actually use a water fountain not to fill up, you know,
They're using the water fountain to fill up a bottle, you're saying?
a bottle,
Yeah.
right? And so we might as well just do that, like for all of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense on,
Like just piece
if
by
we're going to
piece as we
replace.
do it. Yeah, just something to keep in mind. It doesn't sound
Fortunately,
like it's
these
that
have
much
been
more
an item that we haven't had to replace. You know, we may have had to replace a cartridge or
Sure.
a component within, but we haven't had, they have a pretty long life, but it does make sense to look at that, because that, you know, ever since COVID, that seems to be more of a, you know, definitely of a trend. Even your drinking fountains in the building, like right here at the town hall, or, you know, they're adding a jug filler
Yeah.
component
I
to
mean,
it.
I just feel like
You
that's
know.
what everyone uses now. We might as well just adapt with it. And, or if it's possible to not have the water fountain and just have the jug filler, like I'm good with that too. It's called a hose. Fair enough. I'm okay with that. As long as it looks nice and isn't an eyesore in the parks, you know? But anyways, I don't know.
Unless you have a
can't
jug with
remember-
you or something to
I
fill.
can't remember the last time I can't remember the last time I put my mouth up to a water fountain and drank from it, and I can't remember the last time I watched somebody do that.
Well, yeah, and we definitely encourage people not to actually put their mouth on.
No, I know. I don't do that either. I'm just saying that, like, first of all, they don't always have good pressure. But second of all, everyone has water bottles now that they carry with them. And I just think, what the heck, let's just
No,
adapt.
it makes
with
sense,
that.
and you're seeing more and more of that. I'm not sure, Brad, if they make just one with the jug filler. I'm sure there's probably something like that. You know, the bowl is good for sometimes the younger kids or people that don't have, you know, anything with them. So I think that's why they try to make it.
I'm
as
not saying you
yeah.
necessarily get rid of it. I was just more thinking out loud. But certainly, like, to me, I just think as we replace them, let's just make it a point to
makes
always add
sense.
a jug filler, because that's what everyone's doing now. So just a thought. Sorry to take up
Yeah,
more time on
no,
that.
good.
Any other reports from staff?
No?
None? Any questions from the board? Okay. I'm sorry, did you have anything? No? Okay. Okay, any old business from the board? Any new business from the board? Any business from the floor? Okay. We have our next meeting scheduled. Kristen, can you remind us on the date, please? August 6th, okay, at 6 o'clock?
And we also have a joint study session
And that's the following week, though, right? The 12th?
following week. Yes, we have a joint study session. The 12th, I believe.
Okay,
No.
sounds great.
All right?
Cool.
Was that 5:30?
Yeah. I think-
Oh, it is at
5:30 to
5:30, you're right.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Meeting is adjourned.